All right. Welcome everybody to the Art with Errol podcast. This is for August 11th, 2025. Let's go. All right, everybody. Today we have a very special guest.
Okay.
Dr. Torregano, aka TheSpedPrinciple. But before we get into the topic today, I always do my recap of last week. So we'll do a quick recap. So last week we got our podcast done. We had 3 game streams we got completed, which was great because I hadn't done that in a while. And then Friday we did an art video, which was a tribute to Hulk Hogan, who had passed away. Actually came out pretty good, and I looked at the numbers, and the numbers actually went up a lot since I posted on Friday. So if you haven't checked that out, check out that video. So today for our podcast, we're going to be talking a little bit about audience growth or community building, and this will be your audience handed down to you or building your own audience. And we both kind of relate to this because I was a social media manager at the West Point Academy for a while, and so I had a handed audience to me. And you know, when you get an audience, you typically can just post and you already got engagement. And so that's why it's easy for us to kind of go over this. My wife, who is a principal, you know, anytime she changes from school to school, you're handed an audience. Now, that's basically parents, the kids, you know, family members. All this applies because they all engage on your websites and social media. Excuse me, y'all. My throat's a little messed up. So we're going to dive into this talking. Talking
I
about
don't want to catch what you have.
audience growth, y'all. So would you like to say anything? Start off to like kind of in your introduction.
Okay. I'm Dr. Torregano. I'm the SPED principal. Trying to test out this social media space for very personal reasons because I am a reluctant social media user. Very reluctant.
And I can testify to that.
Okay, we started some mess early. Okay, I'm here for it though.
Say your catchphrase.
What is? I don't have a catchphrase.
Okay, so if anybody's following Dr. Torregano, or AKA TheSpedPrinciple, she always starts her thing with, I ain't gonna start no mess, but
that is not my catchphrase. I never try to start any mess with anybody. I ain't trying to start no mess with you, but you started some mess with me, but I'm here for it.
It's a great catchphrase. Anyway.
Okay.
So for the first segment, let's talk about audience growth. You know.
Okay. What is it?
What is it? What does it mean? So it basically means, you know, getting followers and creating your own community or having an established a community. So that's basically what our growth is in social media, right? Your audience growth is building that community around your brand or platform or whatever it is that you're working on social media. Do you agree?
Well, I am a reluctant social
Yeah, I know
media
that.
user, so I would have to agree.
So some of the platforms, I'm on pretty much every platform. You can find me anywhere. I primarily promote YouTube. I'm trying to get to the point where I can just operate from the one platform because I find it easier if the audience is just in one place. But I know in this day and age, everyone is stuck to their platform, and it's very hard to get folks to jump from one platform to the next.
It is because it's annoying, and it's another app,
Yes.
it's another login, it's another something that
Exactly.
I have to keep up with. It's more memory space on my phone. It's more notifications. It's more of something. So
Absolutely.
I started out, I was completely not on social media. I only had a Facebook, only because we moved overseas. And apparently during that time, Facebook was the way to do or know anything.
Communicating with family, friends, and
Well,
coworkers.
they could call me on the phone. I'm talking about once we got to the new base to find stuff.
Absolutely.
Anything. So I have a Facebook. I still very reluctantly used it. Just pick up the phone and call me. Then I got my new, well, not new, I got a different position with a new agency. And I was highly encouraged. I was an assistant principal. I was highly encouraged by our district ET to use social media for the school. And then my principal, volunteered me. And so if I'm going to do something, I'm going to try to do it very well. And so that's what kind of started me into utilizing social media.
Exactly. And that just came along with work, and you really didn't want to use it in, the personal aspect at all. So, just breaking through those barriers was a tough challenge for you to, say, hey, I'm going to do this because not only I got to do it for work, but it's a new day and age. Everybody's doing this. You're gonna make an attempt.
Not everybody, but
not everybody.
People.
But enough people are doing it that make an attempt to have a social media presence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, that's the platforms for the most part, and you now have Instagram.
So now I started out with Twitter, which is now X.
Right.
And it was a professional account. We went through a few iterations of it working with the district ET, and then I created a Facebook page because I couldn't manage the school's Facebook page if I didn't have a Facebook page, and so then I had that. All of the changes that went along with Twitter to X, I just couldn't jump on board with it. It was a bit too much for me, but then with some of the things that I talk about or share out, my close friends said, I think Instagram is going to be the way for you. And so now I'm just on Instagram, and I still have a Facebook page, but for the sole purposes of managing my school's Facebook page, the business account. So nothing personal on that page, but definitely on Instagram. And
Definitely.
I'm the SpedPrinciple.
The SpedPrinciple on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Don't forget to follow and like. So that page, I find it's very unique because you started as the SpedPrinciple, and I thought you was gonna do some like tips on like helping special education and all that stuff, but you went more towards the working out aspect.
Okay, so yes, you're right. That was the original intent, to do more. So SPED is an abbreviation for special education. My doctorate is in SPED, and that area of education kind of has my heart. And so I'm the SPED principal. The reason for the fitness aspect is because a little nervous to get started with it, and where I am most comfortable is in the fitness journey, running, working out, lifting, obstacle courses, Tough Mudders, mud races in general. And so
the New York City Marathon, don't leave that out now.
No, you know what? That's what really started it.
That's what started
okay, thank you. It's been some years since I did this. Okay, that's what started the Instagram account. So I ran the 2023 New York City Marathon. Listen, I got selected to run it. So these 6 world marathons they're big deals, right? They're basically charities. And the United Services Organizations, you may commonly know it as the USO, had an application out, hey, come run with us. So of course I'm like, oh yes, I'll come and run with you. I didn't really know what I was filling out. It was an application. It probably had 10 questions, and kind of on a whim, I got this email and I filled it out very quickly. And a few months later, I get notification that I've been selected to run on the team, and had never run more than a half marathon. I had never run a half marathon officially, just out running. And we talked about it and said, okay, well, what they didn't tell you up front, because these are charitable races, that you have to raise money. Oh my goodness. How do I do that? I'm in New York. We don't really know anyone. We keep a very tight circle. And you can use social media. So that's what started it.
That's what started it.
Yes. And so the running was something I was just more comfortable with, because we were trying to raise money for the USO as I'm training for this marathon that I did finish. So I'm super excited about that. And especially since it was my first marathon. So
Yes.
now,
And
okay.
you did great.
And so the USO was promoting me in their platforms and helping me with their social media person and department to try to raise the money. Okay, thank you for reminding me.
It's okay. But and so you lean more into that, which I think originally you was gonna do some special education stuff.
And
on
I'm still
it.
going to.
And,
That's
and you
still
still
my
plan on doing
yes.
some, like, tips on how to work with children and all that stuff. So that's wonderful, and I think that's going to be great fit for your channel, because it's in your name as well, and a lot of things tie together. And that's the one thing why with my channel, it's called Art with Errol, because I do artwork, but I also do gaming. So I feel like gaming is an expression of art anyway. But so those are the platforms that we kind of dive into. I was just going to share, like some of the things that I've experienced on personal platforms of growth that has been challenging for me, because, I've talked about this in the past, how I've jumped from platform to platform, which I think had a very negative impact on my ability to grow on YouTube.
I agree.
And I should have never jumped to Facebook, which, I think I would have been a lot further along, because I had started my YouTube channel 7 years ago. And that art channel was only at 363 followers. But the thing about Facebook was there was so much of a fast boom in growth. I had got up to 800 followers. So it didn't stagnate until Facebook decided that they weren't going to support the gaming community anymore. So just jumping ship, because YouTube is king. YouTube has and still is king when it comes to video content. So I should have never abandoned YouTube. So now that I have restarted this, since we've moved down here, I started up the gaming channel, which we finally hit 149 followers after 2 years, which is not bad. I think we have growth.
Okay.
It's slower than I would like it, but growth is growth. And that's the positivity about what's going on, is the channel is growing. It's just, at a very slow, steady pace. And then our podcasting channel, we only got 6 followers, but growth takes time, and I just started this in January. So I think we have time for it to build. I just got to keep promoting it more and more.
Okay. I agree.
So, yeah. So for this next segment, we can talk about the handed audience. So, what does it look like when you're handed an audience? When I was the social media manager, thousands of cadets, they basically, they all are tied to the academy at West Point. So, those posts easily get engagements, because so many people love that school. They went to it for the Army. So, it was easy to get engagement on that type of platform. So being able to do the post, take the pictures, drop what I needed to drop in, it just got engagement, Excuse me, y'all. Apologize. So, you don't have to have a lot of work behind, as long as the posts look good, you have the good information that they need, it's going to get engagement. It's going to grow because you constantly got people turning over. So that's one of the pros to having like a platform handed to you. So if you're in that kind of position, you kind of your audience is already there for you. So anything you post for engagement is just gonna flourish, right?
You would,
Well,
you would,
in most cases.
yeah, you would want to, you would think that it would, but you need solid content for it to grow.
For it to grow, and that's some part you can kind of chime in on, is like when you post for the school information and stuff, like how is that engagement?
So, I think you have a misconception. You know, you got to remember, what I am posting, parents want to know.
Right.
They want to know. So I am posting I'm hitting fish in a barrel,
Right.
basically. It has grown a little bit since I've taken. Oh, it's grown a lot. I know that's what you were about to say.
Okay.
Don't start now. Since we started posting, and I am a novice to this area, and so I have a mind for what parents want to know and how they want to know it. And so working with my social media person at the school, we talk it through and how to communicate it, the message. That's really important to me, what we're communicating. And so that is kind of, you got fish in a barrel.
Right.
But what's really interesting to me is that because our population is highly transient, and I'll get stopped somewhere and say, hey, don't I know you? No, because, we keep a tight circle, but they've seen the post, the page.
Post. Right.
And so that piece of it is quite interesting. And I'll have extended family members, people outside of the home that come for a visit and say, oh, I just love your Facebook page because I get to see what's going on in my grandson's school and all of that. And so that's encouraging and what kind of information they want to see, because they'll say, oh, I really like seeing them when they're in class and what they're working on, versus just the smiley waving type of static photos, right? Because they're kind of getting a connection to the curriculum, but also the fun stuff, the cute factor too, right? So yeah.
Now, she likes to say that she's a novice, but she's done this at her last school, and it was a major success. So just from the experience of her last school she was at, actually 2 schools, because you had to do it for so she's not a novice. So we got to get it clear, because you're not a novice. You're more of intermediate to like high level, because your growth, you figured out a formula on how to do these posts, and you mentioned it in everything you just said. You give them what they want. You listen to their feedback. You give them the key and important information into a nice little package on these posts. And so your engagement has not only grown a lot because of how good you've gotten at it, you're getting folks from other schools that probably should be minding their school business. But the thing is that your posts are really engaging because of that, and people come to your page to see what's going on in the schools.
It's just different. It's just different.
It is.
This demographic of parent and this generation of parent, it's our generation. They're still on Facebook, and so it's still pretty cool, right? Like, okay. But as the older we get, these generations change, and Facebook isn't really your primary target anymore. And so now we have an Instagram account.
Right.
And I have not taken over managing the Instagram account, because at Facebook you can post to Facebook and Instagram, and so it makes it kind of easy. But I will be interested to see, now that you mention it, now that I'm mentioning it right now, I want to kind of see how Instagram is growing and what's going on there, because I have been solely focused on Facebook. The other part that's new this year for us is the school website being the primary means of information. And that is a shift. I already have my parents telling me they don't like it. I don't disagree with them. But Facebook is more of our story versus our business. And our business is on the website. And so trying to get parents to shift to the website as their primary means, we're working on that. We just started what, a week, 2 weeks ago now, and it's something. But the difference with the website is that we can actually track the data better than we can track the data on Facebook. We look at the analytics, and certain posts will get more engagement, more looks, more clicks on Facebook, and that kind of helps us to say, okay, what are parents really looking for? But even if we say what are parents looking for, we know what we want to tell.
Right.
We are very clear about what story we want to tell about our school.
Absolutely, yeah. And so, and that shift is always going to be tough because platform to platform, which I mentioned in the beginning of this, anytime you shift platforms, it is a pain to get someone to say, I'm going to leave this platform to go to your other platform. That is very, very challenging. So we talked a little bit about, a handed audience, and, majority of your audience will shift over because they need the information, and that's where they're posting, and that's
why it's easy for me.
Right, that's why it's easy
for me professionally, because hey, I'm saying, look, our business is going to be on the website, period, because there is no other way around that. Now, personally, as I try to grow the SPED principle, well, I'm not shifting platforms. I'm just I'm staying there. That's a little bit more challenging, right? Like, what educational circles do I need to be in? Where should I post this content? What kind of information should I post? Because with special education, every state is different. But generally, the bottom line is we want to make sure the kid get what they need.
Get what they need.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now let's talk a little bit about building your own audience. Now, this is where it's really, really challenging. And for everybody out there to understand that, if you're new to, trying to gain following, trying to build up a community, you have to really, really work at it. So organic growth is usually slow. Some people have the outlier where they just blow up, overnight.
I think that's a fallacy.
It's rare though, because we've seen it happen. Namely, my sister.
Oh, we started some real mess. Okay, let's go.
But no, she blew up, over a very short period of time.
Okay.
And it was very quick. It
wasn't overnight. It was a period of time.
It was a very fast growth that she blew up. And not to say that she has bad content,
It just caters to a certain audience.
It caters to a certain audience, but, that's an outlier. It doesn't happen to everyone, is what I'm getting at.
No, and then to maintain.
To maintain it, yeah. I mean, she's maintaining. She's doing great. To get that out the way. She's doing great. But that doesn't happen to everyone. And that's the key thing, what I'm trying to get at. When it comes to building an audience, it's typically slow and steady. At least that's my experience. You may have a different experience. Maybe you did put that one video out there that blew you up overnight, and then you got an audience. Once you got that audience, to maintain that audience is still a lot of work. You have to put in time. You have to be consistent with your video output.
I agree, and I think that's where I struggle with personally.
Right.
Because I have content, but it is all of the work that goes behind the scenes and the time commitment to do it. Even though I'll take the video while I'm running, I'll take the photo and I'll do all of that. It's the getting it to the post that from the moment that you take it and say, oh, this will be a great post, to the time that it actually posts is a real challenge, because I am a busy wife, mother, and administrator, and
Absolutely.
coach, and writer.
Yep.
All
Yep.
the stuff.
All the stuff. And,
Yes.
and I've mentioned that also in my podcast. When you are like we're working, we are family, so family, working, and then we want to try this experimental social media platform thing. To grow an audience, it's very challenging. And a lot of folks are in that same boat. Not everyone is just the content creator that can stay at home, wake up at 10 o'clock, make a bunch of videos, and then go back to sleep. We're not that person. There are people out there that can do those things.
Sure. Hats off to you.
Hats off to you, because you made it. You have a massive audience. This is your job. That's what you're doing. That's wonderful. But when you're the everyday average person who works a job, you have a family, to make content can be challenging.
It's truly like a part-time job.
It is. It is.
It takes more than just a little bit. You
What is
need
this?
dedicated time, hours, and for very little return.
Very little return.
You spend an hour or so, even on a thought to even get it there, and then you post and to have 3 likes,
Yeah.
or that,
Or one like.
or a view.
Yeah.
So that it can be discouraging. But again, my reason for the social media is a little bit different, more extremely personal. So I'm fine with that.
Right. And so getting that community is where the challenge lies, right? You got to keep working at it. Work on your storytelling, showing up consistently. And this past year and a half, really, I've developed a schedule, and I have done very well at sticking to the schedule. And I think that's the reason why I'm starting to see more growth now than I have in a very long time when I first started YouTube. So, I really think those things are really key to building your community, building your audience.
I agree.
It's one of those things. When it comes to building your community, you just got to put in the time. You got to find time in your day. If you're a working dad and you got other obligations, you got to carve you out a little bit of time. Mine has been 2 hours, which has been great. I've been able to utilize that time to get content done pretty much through the week, which has been wonderful. But you got to also remember, I am a retired sailor, and I just work a job, even though I'm full time.
Yes, you. Still work.
I still work a job.
Navy. Go ahead on now.
I still work a
Go
job.
Navy.
But yeah, go Navy.
Be
but
Army. Don't start. Army vet over here now. I'm trying to support.
I know.
I have to draw the line somewhere. Okay, let's keep going.
So, just with all that said, don't quit trying. Just find your time and find your ability to piece together the stuff that you're doing. If you carve out a schedule, like I said, get on. Everybody has a calendar in their phone. You can just put it in, for this hour, I'm making my video, or I'm doing my game stream.
And then when you're doing that, and if you're giving yourself that time limit, just
stay to it.
That's it. Something is better than
nothing.
Right. And so just post it. I did that with a few videos that you told me to do. And I'm like, oh man, I need to re-record this. And you said, no, just post it.
Post it.
It's fine. And
it's fine.
I was shocked at the feedback that I received, not just from my colleagues, but from parents. And I was not trying to be critical of myself, really wasn't. But I was more along the lines of content, because I don't work for NBC or CBS.
Right.
So you getting a school administrator that my makeup may not be done, my hair may be just pulled back. now I'm a look decent now, but
Yeah.
I don't have this elaborate background, and so when I'm talking to parents and I'm saying, okay, don't look at that, just look at the message, and the parents like, no, that's just who you are,
Yeah.
and that's fine. Today you had on a t-shirt, to the next video you had on a blazer. Who cares? It's like we're talking to you how we do every single day when we drop off or something like that. You're the same in person that you are
In the
videos. And I thought that was some key feedback, and I appreciated it because I don't think I am.
But you are, and the thing about it, was so great about it, is because that interaction that you have with them there, and then the video, it makes them feel comfortable. It makes them, like, oh yeah, I relate to her because that's how she talks. I know, it's a comfort feeling for your audience.
Okay.
And that was why in my last topic I talked about getting out there and going to like events and stuff, because I think that's something I need to engage in, which I'm kind of an introvert. So
Not kind of.
I am an introvert. So for me to go to an event like a games, too many games or something like that, and try to meet people, and I'm probably gonna struggle with that. But I think I need to do those type of things, going out to like art galas or things, events that can help me be more engaging with people, so they can meet me and see me in person, and then they'll become more personable, and the audience will grow and gravitate around it. And I know that's going to be hard for a lot of folks to do, because a lot of people, we are in this era where we're just behind screens, but meeting people and being engaged with people will actually help you, tighten your community, build that relationship. Yeah.
Okay. You're an introvert though, so that's
I am. So that's going to be very challenging for me to even
for you to even say it out loud.
to do it. But I talked about it on the last podcast, and I do want to do it at some point. I was talking about next year, maybe trying to go to too many games, or looking at some art things I could go to, and maybe bring some of my artwork, because when I have that camera at the end of this year, we're going to be shooting some high quality artwork.
Okay.
Like, I'm going to be getting back to the easel with the backdrop, and we're going to be painting and doing the whole 9 yards.
Let's do it.
So the video content is about to elevate, for next year. This year, we're doing strictly sketchbook stuff, which I talked about before.
Okay.
Which is great because I could just put it here and record. But when I get that good camera, the goal is to have high quality, art content.
Okay.
So now we're on to we kind of touched on tips. I wanted to kind of like have a segment for tips. But the best tips, like I said, is to have a good schedule. Be consistent, y'all. It's important to be consistent with your posts, to have a schedule, and notify your audience. I try this as much as I can. If something happens in life and I gotta take my kid to the doctor, or something pops up and I gotta take the car to get worked on,
that's what I was thinking,
or anything like that, you gotta notify your audience. So it's either you do a video or a community post and say, hey, no video today, no stream today because something popped up, or whatever, however you want to word it. But the thing is to always be engaging with your audience as much as you can.
I agree. That helps me in my professional posting on social media, because they know that if it's something going on,
Right.
it will be shared. If
Right.
it's something of value that we can share, it'll be shared some type of way.
Right. And if you have like that set scheduled video that you like post, which is like every Friday you have a posted video.
I am not doing that.
Oh, not this year.
No, not this year. No,
Okay.
That was every Friday. So he's referring to every Friday I did a principles recap, and there were some times that it went for like 6 minutes because it was so much going on during that time. But most of the videos were between 2 to 4 minutes, and I would just recap the week or get them prepped for next week. Say, hey, look, don't forget you need to do this or that. So this year, and so this is why, okay, we do surveys of parents and all of this. So long story short, it came out in the survey that I over communicate.
Oh, okay.
I'm always, hey, this is what's going on. Now, in the world of education, most of the time, in my experience, schools get dinged for, I don't ever know what's going on in the school. They don't ever send me nothing. Now, that could be true or not be, because I know other principals, we do all of this, and parents will still say the school doesn't communicate. But I got hit with, I over communicate.
Okay.
And so, this summer I was trying to reflect, like, do I really over communicate? I mean, they know what's going on in the school. I was all in my head about it. And so a lot of the parents said, no, please keep it. Don't change it. I know I can trust when you're going to send stuff. I know what's going on. I have the dates. Even if you've sent them to me, I want you to send them to me again. And I was like, okay, well, now we're going to do every other Friday.
Yeah, so you're finding a balance in it.
Trying to.
Right.
I would prefer the every Friday because it's consistent, and it's for the parents that you don't hit. Our population can go in and out with work, and so, but I'm trying to be reflective. I over communicate, so now we're going to do these every 2 weeks and see how that goes.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's great. And I think what other tips could we give for like social media growth?
Make your content valuable. I went to so at our headquarters office, there's a person that does the videos and all of that. And so I said, hey, I got with him this summer, and I said, I'm gonna send you some videos. Can you give me some help or whatever? Because art with Errol is too expensive for my budget. That's what you told me. So I went to him to get some help. And he said, man, your content is good. He said, nobody cares about what you have on, or because my videos sometimes are out in the parking lot, or I'm on the way to the bus loading zone, or I'm in my office. He said, don't worry about that. He said, what you're putting out is good. And then he did give me some tips. He said, one thing that I would change is this intro that you have. Why do you need an intro? It was it was this dun, 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 dun. For the people that's older than us, you remember when the news come on, you'd have like a little, and then there's this thing that comes on and says news, and I don't know, it take about 30 seconds. He said, what you need that for? He said, everybody knows you, so you could introduce yourself, but you could just start talking because your content is so rich. In the videos that I had sent him, I think I sent him one video per quarter. And he said, and I can see the growth in it, and he just gave me some really good feedback. He said, just hit record and start talking about whatever it is you're going to talk about, and it's good.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need the transitions and the highlights and the effects and all of that. If your content is good, that's all people really are going to care about.
All they really care about. And and that's great because that's the professional aspect of this side, which is where we're talking about where you have a built audience.
Yes.
So you don't really need it. But if you're an up and coming person, you don't need a very long intro, but it's probably good to have a little short, 4 to 8 second intro clip or something, just so that the people can get to know you.
Yep.
Yeah, because you're starting out, you don't. People not going to know who you are, so maybe having that little, come in or whatever, like, this is my logo or whatever, pop in and pop out, that's going to help, build your audience because it's going to expand, the people knowing who you are.
Yes, I agree.
And I think we hit pretty much everything I wanted to hit in this. Do we have any final thoughts to encourage our listeners about, working, towards their goals of building their community? I think we kind of touched on everything. So we can just roll into promotion for this week. So this is our podcast.
Okay.
You can hear our podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, or Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. hit me up on YouTube. If you're going to comment, like, comment, subscribe on there. You know, we got, we'll have an art video this week. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do for this week yet, but there will be an art video as well as 3 game streams, or 2 game streams, I'm sorry, this week, because Tuesday I have appointments, something going on. So I will take care of that, and I'll also make a post that day saying there won't be any game stream that day. But at least Thursday, Wednesday and Thursday, I should be able to game stream, and possibly Monday, since this podcast will go up. I could probably get one in on Monday, so we may be able to get 3. Maybe that won't be a pop-up. So I've been enjoying Battlefield 6. The beta ends tomorrow, and it starts back up on the 14th. So I think it's Friday or Saturday. And it only goes for the weekend until October. So then in October the game comes out, and I will primarily be on Battlefield 6. The game is that good. So most of my content will be Battlefield 6 after it releases in October. Other than that, this was a great podcast. I really enjoyed this.
Okay.
Don't forget to, like I said, follow us.
Oh,
you can follow
yes.
Art with Errol. Remember, I'm pushing YouTube, so follow us on YouTube. Follow the Spread Principle on Instagram.
The SPED Principle.
There you go. So don't forget to follow and what is it? Heart the content, because it's not a like button; it's a heart, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, you know what to do.
You know what to do.
You know what to do. Till next time, y'all.